The live music industry is a battlefield where art and integrity have been sold out to a sinister machine driven by alcohol sales, and the casualties of this war are real lives and dreams that shatter nightly. The power at the core of this industry isn't in the hands of musicians or even record labels, but instead held by the alcohol advertising giants who have infiltrated every corner of the scene, twisting the very culture of live music into a relentless marketing campaign for liquor. From the underground bars to the most famous arenas, the game is rigged in favor of those who drink, sell, and promote booze. Where musicians who refuse to play along are condemned to starve. Songwriters are coerced into lacing their lyrics with alcohol references, not as a creative choice, but as a financial necessity to secure airplay, sponsorships, and stage time. Any artist daring to speak out against this stranglehold risks being blacklisted, shadow banned, and buried under an avalanche of algorithmic manipulation. The illusion of competition is meticulously crafted while behind the scenes, the music industry operates as a monopolistic mafia, one that weaponizes ostracization, false accusations, and even threats of imprisonment against those who don't conform to the profitable narrative of alcohol-fueled entertainment. The nightlife spectacle, complete with drink promotions and partying, is nothing more than a thinly veiled strategy to drive up alcohol sales at the expense of the very patrons being celebrated. It is an industry built not on the joy of music, but on exploitation and addiction, where the more a musician can push customers to the bar, the more they are rewarded. This twisted reality was brought into stark relief one night at a beachside restaurant where a musician drew a family off the street, two parents and their bright-eyed daughter, enticed by the raw beauty of a voice and a guitar. That family's night, meant to be one of spontaneous joy, became a grim tale of tragedy. Lured into the venue by music, they were then swept into rounds of drinks and shots, part of the venue's strategy to maximize profit. The father, already several drinks in, continued to imbibe until he was beyond the point of responsible decision-making. As the musician packed up and the family headed out, the atmosphere still buzzed with praise, talk of future performances, and a bar staff celebrating a night that would have been dead without the singer's talent. But that night did not end on a high note for the family who cheered, danced, and drank. They died on their drive home, the father's impairment turning a night of laughter into one of fatal consequence. This is the hidden cost of a system that feeds on excess and cashes in on human weakness. The bars, venues, and corporate executives may pocket their money and celebrate another successful night of high sales. But the grim truth remains that this business thrives on lives cut short, shattered by the very industry that claims to entertain. It is an ecosystem engineered to exploit musicians' talents as a means to an end, leveraging their ability to draw crowds as bait to sell as much alcohol as possible while leaving the artist to shoulder the moral weight of the aftermath. The alcohol monopolies run the show from the top down, forcing anyone who wishes to make a living in music to play their game or face financial ruin. Those who resist will find the doors closed, their songs silenced, and their dreams dismantled by the gatekeepers of an industry that thrives on monopolistic control and the systematic destruction of any competition. Artists are not merely suppressed. They are crushed under a machine that thrives on the calculated destruction of dissent and the promotion of compliance. It is a system maintained by fear. Fear of starvation, fear of irrelevance, fear of defamation, and fear of imprisonment. What begins as subtle nudges toward collaboration with alcohol brands can quickly escalate to threats and coercion, forcing artists to choose between compromising their values or being exiled from the very world they fought so hard to enter. Musicians are silenced not just by the industry but by their own desperation to survive, driving them to accept sponsorships, partnerships, and lyrical demands that align with alcohol's omnipresent agenda. The venues may bill it as live music, but what they are really selling is an atmosphere of indulgence, where every note played and every lyric sung must ultimately serve to keep the drinks flowing. The industry's top promoters, radio stations, and streaming services cooperate in a vast web of corruption that prioritizes the promotion of songs that can double as drink anthems while suppressing those that dare to advocate for anything else. Social media platforms, seemingly democratized avenues for artistic discovery, are in fact complicit in shadow banning and algorithmic throttling, stifling the reach of any artist who doesn't adhere to the alcohol-driven status quo. The industry even reaches beyond the music itself, controlling events, festivals, and touring circuits that force artists to conform or face the likelihood of going broke. The situation is so deeply entrenched that musicians often feel like they are performing with a gun to their head, knowing that any slip-up in aligning with the alcohol agenda could see them blacklisted, ridiculed, or ruined. Those who resist will be slandered, falsely accused, or simply cut off from the resources they need to continue performing. The power wielded by the alcohol monopolies extends into every facet of the music business, dictating which artists rise to prominence and which remain in obscurity, unseen and unheard, regardless of their talent or originality. What masquerades as a vibrant music culture is, in fact, a landscape of controlled artistry, where the real aim is not to produce great music, but to drive alcohol sales. The artists are the puppets, the venues are the stages, and the alcohol companies pull the strings, profiting from every shot poured and every life destroyed. The artist who pulls a crowd off the street, who brings people to life with their voice, is merely a tool in a calculated strategy to convert patrons into buyers of drink after drink, until tragedy strikes, until another life is lost on the road home, and the cash keeps flowing into corporate coffers. This industry does not merely tolerate such deaths, it depends on them. It is a system in which the final act of the night may not be the applause, but the mournful sound of sirens and the shattering of lives. To speak out against this machine is to invite its wrath, to risk being starved out, slandered, or dragged into court under fabricated charges designed to silence dissent. For the artist who chooses integrity over compliance, the future is bleak, as the monopoly's iron grip ensures that they will struggle to find venues willing to book them, radio stations willing to play their music, or platforms willing to promote their content. The alcohol monopoly has effectively seized control of the creative and cultural landscape, dictating the terms by which music is created, performed, and consumed, using the most Machiavellian of tactics to maintain their power. If you refuse to play along, they will squeeze you out and leave you with nothing. The reality is that in this industry, art is not about expression, it is about exploitation, and the only songs that will be heard are the ones that serve to pour more drinks. The alcohol industry may have hijacked the music scene, but the path forward lies in breaking free from its grip, refusing to play the game where artistry is drowned in liquor sales. The answers are not found in reforming a corrupt system, but in building an entirely new model where music isn't just a vehicle for alcohol promotion, but stands on its own as a form of authentic expression and community connection. The tragedy of lives lost on the road home, like the family who died after a night of joy turned to heartbreak, doesn't have to be an inevitable outcome. Hope comes in the form of disruption, of challenging the very foundations on which this exploitative industry stands, and creating alternatives that shift the focus away from booze-soaked stages to a future where music can thrive without compromising its soul. That future is already beginning to take shape with innovative ideas like Paradise Busker, a new kind of platform that reimagines the relationship between artists, venues, and audiences by prioritizing creativity over consumption, connection over intoxication, and true community engagement over hollow marketing. By building a space for young people to discover live music without the alcohol-fueled chaos, we can change how they perceive and engage with the art form, making live music a cultural experience accessible to all ages, not just a barroom escape. The power lies in rewriting the narrative, in shifting cultural norms that for too long have tied music to drinking. If Paradise Busker can replace the pay-to-play model with a system where artists earn fairly through gamified elements, virtual currencies, and direct fan support, it could weaken the stranglehold of alcohol monopolies that thrive on exploiting musicians and endanger lives with every drink sold. This disruption isn't just a dream. It's a viable solution that tackles the root of the problem by creating a platform that allows for real competition in the music industry, free from the financial demands of the liquor sponsors. If this idea catches on, it could drive a cultural shift that sees music as more than just background noise for drinkers, instead turning it into a central, meaningful part of life that enriches communities. Imagine festivals and local events where the primary attraction isn't the beer tent but the performances themselves, where the youth come not because it's a party, but because it's a celebration of art and expression, where artists don't feel compelled to sell out their creativity for a few extra dollars in the tip jar. The old system may be well entrenched, but the momentum for change is growing, spurred on by rising concerns about the dangers of excessive alcohol consumption and a new generation of listeners who care more about substance than substances. As regulations around alcohol advertising begin to echo the restrictions placed on the tobacco industry, there's a real chance to curb the harm caused by decades of manipulative marketing that glamorizes drinking while omitting the dark consequences. Drawing parallels to the fight against tobacco advertising, holding the alcohol industry to account could drastically reduce the normalization of drinking in music culture and shift public expectations. It's not just about legislation, though. Real change must come from the ground up, from artists reclaiming their right to make music without being turned into salespeople for alcohol. Platforms like Paradise Busker could provide that opportunity, fostering a fair and sustainable ecosystem for creators where revenue is generated through subscriptions, token exchanges, and in-app interactions rather than drink specials and bar tabs. This would create an environment where musicians can focus on their craft, where success isn't dictated by how much alcohol they help sell but by the quality of their artistry and the strength of their connection with fans. Even more importantly, it would allow communities to reconnect with live music in a way that isn't marred by the risks and chaos associated with excessive drinking, creating a healthier, more inclusive atmosphere for all. The shift in cultural norms could extend beyond music venues, influencing how we socialize and celebrate, where substance isn't always the main ingredient of a good time. It's about showing that the joy, spontaneity, and community found in live music can exist without being tethered to intoxication. Such a transformation would have ripple effects far beyond the music industry, challenging the entire alcohol advertising ecosystem that permeates not just bars and festivals, but sports events, social media, and even politics. The industry's deep-rooted influence can be weakened by a growing preference for experiences over consumption and by platforms that place value on authenticity and real connections rather than transactional relationships based on drink sales. If a platform like Paradise Busker gains traction, it could inspire other initiatives to emerge, driving the music industry toward a more equitable and artist-focused future where musicians are not just performers for hire, but central figures in a cultural movement that prioritizes well-being over profit margins. We can foster a generation of music lovers who recognize the damage done by equating live music with drinking, who demand more from the experiences they engage with, and who understand that the power of music goes far beyond what's in their glass. For artists, this shift could mean reclaiming their power from an industry that has long exploited their talent for someone else's bottom line. It's about giving musicians the freedom to pursue their creative vision without being coerced into promoting a product that may contribute to addiction and destruction. It's about bringing back the idea that live music is a space for connection, reflection, and shared human experience, not just an excuse to get drunk. The future can be one where artists aren't starved into submission but can build sustainable careers on their own terms, where venues can thrive without needing to push alcohol as their main source of revenue, and where audiences can experience the joy of music in a way that is safe, inclusive, and empowering. This won't be an easy shift, and the alcohol industry won't let go of its dominance without a fight. But as the old saying goes, change happens slowly, then all at once. With initiatives like Paradise Busker, there's a real possibility to accelerate this transformation, to bring about a renaissance in live music where the focus returns to what truly matters: the songs, the stories, and the shared experiences that unite us all. It's a chance to heal the broken system, to mourn the lives lost to a culture of excess, and to move forward with a vision for a better world where art and integrity are no longer up for sale. There's an undeniable power in music that has survived throughout history. It has been a force for rebellion, for unity, for healing. By redirecting that power toward building a healthier and more ethical industry, we can restore music to its rightful place as a transformative cultural force. We can create a new industry model where artists aren't pawns in a game of profit but are respected for the value they bring, where young listeners are inspired by talent rather than led astray by marketing, and where the celebration of live music doesn't come at the cost of real lives. It's time to start treating music not as a side effect of the party, but as the main event. With a groundswell of support, a shift in norms, and bold new platforms that refuse to let alcohol dictate the terms, we can build a music scene where artists and fans alike are free to find joy, connection, and meaning on their own terms. The revolution is already beginning, and with it, a more hopeful future for music, for artists, and for every family that deserves to make it home safely after the show ends. Paradise Busker Artiverse addresses the dilemma of alcohol-dominated live music culture by reimagining the industry from the ground up, offering a revolutionary alternative where immersive, AR-driven experiences replace the traditional bar-centric model. By centering its platform around authentic engagement and technological innovation, it creates an environment where music thrives on its own merits rather than serving as a backdrop for alcohol sales. The Artiverse leverages augmented reality, AR, to elevate performances, giving fans, artists, and venues new tools to enhance live events without the need for alcohol promotions. Its subscription-based model, with tiers for fans, artists, and venues, enables participants to access different levels of engagement, ensuring that financial support for the platform comes from diverse and sustainable revenue streams rather than reliance on alcohol sales. The fan subscription, priced affordably at $3.33 per month, offers unique digital content and AR-enhanced experiences, promoting deeper interaction with music and artists while sidestepping the pressures of alcohol-centric socialization. The artist tier, at $33 per month, provides musicians with a suite of tools to expand their reach and innovate their shows through AR, allowing them to enhance performances and engage audiences in novel ways that have nothing to do with drink sales. Venues benefit from a premium service at $333 per month, with access to event management solutions and immersive AR features that help them differentiate their offerings, attract audiences, and drive revenue without leaning on alcohol promotions. By disrupting the standard industry practices, Paradise Busker challenges the cultural norms that equate live music with heavy drinking. It fosters an inclusive environment where performances are central to the experience, appealing to a broader demographic, including families and young people, without the restrictive age limits that alcohol imposes. The platform's innovative approach also offers a fresh way to promote local talent, providing artists the opportunity to showcase their music in a space that values their work beyond its capacity to sell drinks. Gamified features and virtual currency, like BNDS, create alternative revenue streams, allowing artists to earn fairly through direct fan support, digital interactions, and AR-enhanced content, rather than the traditional reliance on tips and bar tabs. This model not only levels the playing field for independent musicians, but also empowers them to maintain artistic integrity without having to conform to an alcohol-centric business model. With Paradise Busker, artists are not forced into compromising their craft to fit the needs of sponsors or venue owners who prioritize alcohol sales over art. Instead, they can focus on their music, connect with fans on their own terms, and use cutting-edge technology to create experiences that captivate audiences without compromising health or safety. The Artiverse is also designed with scalability in mind, offering a path to expand beyond Key West into other U.S. cities and internationally to places like Tokyo and Rio de Janeiro, providing global reach for artists while diversifying revenue opportunities for the platform. This expansion strategy is supported by a flexible and adaptive approach to the platform's AR capabilities, allowing for continuous updates and enhancements that respond to user feedback and technological advancements. The AR integration not only enriches the fan experience by providing interactive features like in-app voting and augmented live performances, but also opens up new avenues for artists and venues to collaborate, creating dynamic event experiences that draw crowds for reasons other than alcohol. For venues, this approach transforms the business model from a drink-centered profit strategy to one where immersive technology attracts guests, with features like AR-enhanced performances driving ticket sales, digital engagement, and merchandise purchases. The in-app cryptocurrency model further supports this shift by allowing seamless transactions for content, tipping, and fan engagement, removing the need to push drink sales as the primary revenue driver. Paradise Busker also recognizes the risks inherent in the traditional industry's approach and seeks to minimize them by fostering safer, more inclusive entertainment environments. By prioritizing immersive experiences over intoxication, the Artiverse reduces the likelihood of alcohol-related incidents, both at events and afterward, thus potentially saving lives and offering an ethical business model that stands in stark contrast to the exploitative norms of the current music scene. The platform's use of gamification encourages positive, participatory fan behaviors, such as in-app rewards for engaging with performances or participating in AR experiences, rather than incentivizing drinking. Fans can earn digital rewards and accolades within the Artiverse by supporting artists and attending performances, creating a sense of community and competition that doesn't revolve around alcohol consumption. This cultural shift not only benefits the attendees by offering safer, more diverse event experiences, but also elevates the artist-fan relationship, providing a deeper level of engagement that extends beyond the limits of a venue's bar sales. Furthermore, by using augmented reality to create immersive, interactive environments, Paradise Busker turns performances into multidimensional experiences that capture audience interest in new ways. It opens up possibilities for fans to engage with artists' stories, music, and creative visions through technology, rather than through alcohol-fueled social dynamics. This can cultivate a new generation of music enthusiasts who appreciate and support live performances for the art itself, fostering a cultural movement that values music above all else. The platform's model empowers local artists, allowing them to connect with fans without being overshadowed by big-name alcohol-sponsored events, thereby leveling the playing field and nurturing a grassroots movement within the industry. This inclusive approach democratizes access to performance opportunities and rewards originality, shifting the focus back to artistic merit and innovation rather than who can sell the most drinks. Paradise Busker's potential to revolutionize the music industry is further bolstered by its plans for continuous development and market expansion. With strategic goals to enhance app capabilities, increase artist compensation through publishing and licensing deals, and expand into international markets, the platform is positioned to become a leader in tech-enhanced live entertainment. By challenging the traditional revenue models that have long dominated the industry, it seeks to create a more equitable system that benefits artists, venues, and fans alike, while promoting cultural richness and musical diversity. The Artiverse immersive technology not only differentiates the live music experience, but also creates a sustainable business model that supports the creative community without relying on harmful practices. As the platform continues to grow and adapt, it will provide artists with more autonomy over their careers, enabling them to build loyal followings and monetize their work in ways that do not compromise their artistic vision or the well-being of their audience. By embracing digital innovation and rejecting the exploitative norms of alcohol sponsorship, Paradise Busker paves the way for a future where live music can once again be a force for good, uplifting communities, fostering meaningful connections, and creating cultural experiences that inspire. The Artiverse not only offers solutions to the systemic issues facing the industry, but also stands as a model for what a fair and sustainable future in music could look like. With its bold vision and commitment to redefining the live music experience, Paradise Busker brings hope to artists and audiences who crave a better, more honest way to enjoy and create music.